Hello, blimey, it is all kickingoff.com in the comments box. Firstly, we did a poll, pretty exciting, and quite an extraordinary result. EU, should we stay or should we go? I'm astonished it's that much of a difference though. 64% say stay in the European Union, 21% of you said get out, 11% of you don't know, 1% of you don't care. Interesting. That's good. Thank you for the 2,307 people who took part. That is democracy in action. There we go. I mean, basically, we don't need the referendum anymore. We've had it here.
Let's call the whole thing off.
It's far more divided in the comments box. So there is some sort of silent stay in the European Union majority. But it's the Leavers versus the Romanians. Is that what we're calling people? Whatever. It's interesting though. Actually, arguably, the debate in my comments box is more nuanced than the debate between our leading politicians.
It's all baloney.
That's not to say the debate is nuanced in the comments box, just so you know. It is all relative. Albion Parish. As far as I'm concerned, if you use fear-mongering, you've lost the argument. If only. You know, I wish it wasn't effective. It can be. So you can say morally they've lost the argument, and I'm sympathetic to that. But in terms of actually winning the debate and actually winning the vote, it can be effective.
Leaving Europe would threaten our economic and our national security.
If you go and stay on in, what you have got is chaos and confusion.
And I would say this, as someone who is going to vote to stay in, as the first step to changing the European Union and making it more democratic with people across the continent, that I don't want to take part in any campaign of fear. And if David Cameron and that lot want to have a campaign based on fear, it's going to have nothing to do with me whatsoever. JSDH 1978, hi. I will be voting to stay in it as I don't trust the current government to replace the environmental and civil liberties laws we will lose if we leave the EU. I want to see changes to the EU, though, as I think they are far from perfect. Wow, you've summed up my view, arguably more eloquently than I'm capable of. So, embarrassing for me, but good for you. And yes, what they'll do is we'll lose the progressive bits, social chapter, workers' rights, and we'll still end up with the same right-wing policies on, you know, we'll suddenly leave the European Union and then all of a sudden we'll have this socialist utopia. Quite the opposite. They will use leaving from the European Union to get rid of those good bits and basically give us more bad bits. Johnny G, hi. So Johnny's point is, he wants to vote for leave. He was very pro-EU for many years, but the breaking points for him came with the treatments of the southern European countries, Greece in particular. Well, I've been to Greece. I've seen the devastation inflicted on that country by calamitous policies of austerity. The Greek government, Syriza, which was elected with a mandate to challenge these policies, they punished it partly as an example to other countries. If you elect a government like this will happen to you as well. But you've got to bear in mind that the Greek people overwhelmingly want to stay in the European Union. So if you're doing it on the basis of standing with the Greek people, that's fine, but that's not their view in terms of what should happen. And they're the ones who've suffered these policies. They're not saying, let's get out. They're saying, you know, they want to change it. And I've gone to Greece. They want the European Union to be transformed and changed. If you're angry about what happened in Greece, I couldn't empathise with you more. But all I say to you is, don't vote leave on the assumption that that is what the Greek people want to happen. They don't. They want us to stay, and I think we should stay with them to try and help them change the European Union. Broadband 01. Vote leave, ignore this pillock. Pillock. Love it. That is not used enough, actually. That is a bit of a flashback, because I think when I was a kid, my mum used to go, oh, yeah, pillock. Pillock, pillock, pillock. I'm going to use that from now on, though I appreciate that Broadband 01. Ignore me if you want, that's quite okay. But thank you for reacquainting me with, I think, a grossly underrated term of abuse. Mike Durkin. Hi, Mike. I have no idea how I will vote. It would be nice to be told the truth about the pros and cons of both staying and leaving in the EU. Well, Mike, it's a good job we're having such a nuanced, sophisticated, fact-based debate, which isn't basically both sides fear-mongering. That's sarcasm.
You don't say!
Taze T. Schnitzel. Hello, stay, but so it can be reformed. The EU is undemocratic and has broken institutions. We must democratise it and redeploy it for good. See Varoufakis' stuff on the subject.
Those of us who are most critical of Europe have a moral duty to stay in Europe, fight for it, and democratise it.
You know, we are actually seeing movements which are growing across Europe at the moment, whether it be Syriza in Greece, yeah, they got a kicking, but, you know, they represent 2%, that country, of the Eurozone economy, so the EU could afford to treat it in the way it did. But you've seen the rise of Podemos in Spain, and, you know, I did a video on it if you want to check that out. In Portugal as well, a left of centre government's come to power. So you're seeing movements which are there across Europe that want to change the European Union. And that's why Yanis Varoufakis, the former Greek finance minister's movement, is so important. So we need to link these movements up together to change the European Union. Get rid of all the bits which are all about representing the interests of big corporations, make it democratic and accountable. So, yeah, basically. Toby Smith, politics is one endless project fear. It's the best tool they have to get people to do what they want. Yeah, I mean, there's a bit in that, isn't there? There's quite a lot in that comment. And politics could be different. And that's up to us, though. That's up to us to have a bit more hope and optimism. You know, the idea that we can build a better country together. You know, what's more patriotic than wanting to rid your country of injustice, as I've said before. And that, you know, if we organise together from below, and that's the history of this country, change doesn't happen because the powerful think, oh, feeling generous, and I'll give people some rights today. People have fought for them throughout our history. So yeah, people always try and scare those of us who challenge the status quo. But I'm quite optimistic. I mean, I might as well just sit rocking in the fetal position in the corner if I wasn't, to be quite honest. But yeah, let's have a bit of Project Hope, Tobes, if you don't mind me calling you Tobes. A bit familiar. Thanks for the comments, great as ever. And, you know, we'll do a poll again sometime. I think that poll was I enjoyed the poll. And leave your comments, subscribe. I'll see you next time.